On Global TV News Prime, World Health Organization announces global resurgence of cholera spike in reported cases. Kano government orders demolition of Aminu Ado Bayero's palace. On the foreign scene, Namibian court overturns law criminalizing same-sex relationships. In business, Debt Management Office says public debt hits 121 trillion naira. And in sports, Wales Football Association sacks Rob Page after Euro 2024 qualifying miss. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agmofwebe. Tonight, we'll begin by telling you no fewer than 37 deaths have been recorded in the current cholera outbreak, which has hit 30 states, including Lagos and Ogun. Special Advisor to Lagos State Governor on Health, Dr. Kemi Ogunyemi, in a statement by Director of Public Affairs in the State Ministry of Health, Tobunso Ogumbawo, said the state had recorded an additional 6 cholera deaths as against the previous 15. She said cholera cases had risen to 401 in the state. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, in its recent report, said from January 1 to June 11, 2024, over 1,140 suspected and over 65 confirmed cases of cholera, resulting in over 30 deaths, had been reported from 96 local government areas across 30 states. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has announced a spike in cholera in several regions of the world, with almost 195,000 cases and over 1,900 deaths reported in 24 countries since the start of this year. The agency's Eastern Mediterranean region reported the highest number of cases, followed by the African region, the region of the Americas, the Southeast Asian region, and the European region. It is bulletin released to World Health Organization noted that there are no reported cases in the Western region. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention has recorded 6,704 suspected Lassa fever cases and 162 deaths across 125 local government areas in 28 states. The NCDC confirmed 911 cases from the suspected cases from January to June 9, 2024. The agency disclosed the figures in its Lassa fever situation report on its website today. According to the World Health Organization, Lassa fever is an acute viral hemorrhagic illness caused by the Lassa virus, a member of the arenavirus family of viruses. Away from health matters now, the federal government has announced plans to bolster its anti-banditry operations with the acquisition of 50 new aircraft scheduled to arrive between now and next year. The initiative aims to strengthen security efforts in the Northwest region and across Nigeria as terrorists occupied the Kainji National Park in Niger State. Chief of Air Staff Marshal Bala Abubakar disclosed that the air fleet would include 12 AH-1 attack helicopters, 24 M-364 attack aircraft, 12 Augusta Westland 109 helicopters, and 2 CASA 295 medium airlift aircraft. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, says alleged failure of the federal government to resolve its demands is an invitation to the impending paralysis in Nigeria's public universities. Similarly, the union alleged that lack of sincerity on the part of the federal and state governments to address the issues has worsened the living and working conditions of academic staff in public universities. Addressing journalists after a protest walk by the university lecturers over the contending issues with the government, the union's chairman, Kano University of Science and Technology, Dr. Aliyu Ahmad, urged the public, especially critical stakeholders in the Nigerian university system, to hold the federal government responsible if the union proceeds on strike at any time. West African Examination Council (WAEC) in Nigeria says it would gradually eliminate the use of papers in the conduct of its examinations. Dr. Amos Dangut, who is head of national office, disclosed this after monitoring the conduct of the ongoing West African Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital. The WAEC boss explained that WAEC is planning to deploy electronic devices to various recognized examination centers across the country for the future conduct of West African Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination. He said that the deployment of the devices would eliminate the current use of paper registration of candidates and detect all forms of malpractice in the centers. Kano State government has directed the Commissioner of Police to remove the 15th Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, from the Nasarawa Mini Palace where he currently resides. The State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Haruna Denderi, during a press conference, said government has concluded arrangements for the general restructuring, construction and renovation of the property, including the demolition and reconstruction of the dilapidated wall fence with immediate effect. It had earlier been reported that a federal high court sitting in Kano had nullified all actions taken by the state's government after the passage and signing of the 2024 Emirates Council law. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has warned political parties involved in off-cycle governorship elections in Edo and Ondo states to avoid the use of hate speech and offensive languages in the conduct of their campaign for the elections. The Commission also said that parties contesting the election should avoid carrying arms to venue of such campaigns, which must be communicated to the Commission and the Nigeria Police at least 10 days prior to their campaigns. Bauchi State government has announced plans to revitalize its tourism sector, noting that the move is to attract visitors from far and wide. This was disclosed by the Commissioner for Tourism and Culture, Abdul Hassan, while speaking with tourism ambassadors of the state who paid him a courtesy visit in his office. He stated that the state is committed to unlocking its vast tourism potential, maintaining that key projects are underway, including the refurbishment of the iconic Yankari Game Reserve, which has reached a 50% completion rate. Ondo State's government says necessary legal action will be taken on the judgment notifying the creation of the 33 local council development areas in the state. The government's reaction is contained in a statement by the Attorney General of the state, Kayode Ajulo, and made available to newsmen in Akure, the state capital. In a bid to restore order and ensure smooth traffic flow, Lagos State Traffic Management Authority has impounded 40 vehicles operating in illegal garages and causing road obstructions in Oyingbo, Ijora, and Idomota areas. This was disclosed in a statement by the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, stating that the agency's enforcement team, led by Kayode Odunuga, carried out the operation under the guidance of Special Advisor to Governor on Transportation, Shola Giwa. Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned to July 15 the trial of the Chief of Staff to Kogi State Governor Ali Bello and his co-defendant Dauda Sulaiman in an amended money laundering charge. The charge was instituted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The defendant, who is a nephew of the immediate past governor of the state, Yahaya Bello, was arraigned before the Federal High Court in Abuja over his alleged complicity in the diversion of more than 10 billion naira from the state's treasury. Let's turn to the stories for you now. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, says the management of the force will not allow untrainable persons of questionable characters to be recruited into the police force. Egbetokun made the revelation while fielding questions from journalists in Abuja on the sideline of a conference with commissioners of police and other senior officers of the force. Sharon Ajay brings us more.
Speaking on the controversy over the recruitment of constable and the allegations by the Police Service Commission, PSC, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, maintained that the Nigerian police force is a specialized institution that is not meant for all Nigerians.
He cannot sit down and look on and see how recruitment into the police force is anyhow. He cannot afford to disappoint the officers and men that he's leading. We are doing everything possible to make sure that qualified and trainable individuals are recruited into the police.
The police boss also directed the continuation of the police barricade on all local government secretariats in Rivers State to prevent a breakdown of law and order.
This issue, you are all aware, is in court. The police will wait for the outcome of the court case. Whatever the court decides is what the police is going to do. Yes, we have our men barricading the secretariats as at now. We are doing that to prevent breakdown of law and order in that state.
He added that the police will continue to occupy the secretariat until a court of competent jurisdiction delivers judgment on the local government crisis in Rivers State. Sharana J reporting for Global TV News.
In the meantime, the Police Service Commission has asked the Nigeria Police Force to provide evidence that the recent constable recruitment exercise was marred by corruption. In a statement today, Ikechukwu Ani, who is the spokesperson for the Police Service Commission, said the police force does not respect the Commission's mandate to recruit personnel for the police. The Nigeria Police Force had said the recruitment exercise was marred by gratification and irregularities. You're watching News Prime, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using our Global TVNG and other handles as you now see on your screen. When News Prime returns, Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, urges organized labor to prioritize job security. We have those details and more for you right after this break. We urge you to stay with us.
Welcome to Bayes University, Abuja, Nigeria, with a legacy of excellence and a vision for nurturing future leaders. Bayes University is in a league of its own. We're all about our people, processes, and technology.
Bayes is one of the highly rated universities in Nigeria in terms of product quality standards.
We don't just produce graduates, but groom people into employers of labor.
And it has made us understand that learning is all about three things. We learn, we unlearn, and we relearn.
Bayes University Hospital offers a range of specialized services equipped with the latest technology, manned by a team of trusted professionals. And now, our vision extends beyond our walls with the Baba Ahmed University in Kano following our lead. Join us at Bayes University and invest in your future today.
Bayes University is the institution that you will get the best value for money education in Nigeria.
Bayes University. Learn to live.
In an ever-busy world, the increasing challenge of keeping track of health matters can be extremely demanding. Follow the latest health tips and trends on Health Guide on Global Television on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Health Guide on Global Television. Put your health first.
It's time for sports' biggest moments on Global Television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk sports with the king of sports, Anthony Momodu. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Beautiful work from the wingers.
Are you?
This is Global Television, bringing you a live broadcast of News Prime with Uyi Agmofwebe. Thank you for your time with us. Let's take you to the foreign scene now, where top Namibian court has struck down the African country's colonial era laws criminalizing same-sex relationships in a victory for the LGBTQ community. The High Court in the capital, Windhoek, declared the crimes of sodomy and unnatural sexual offenses as unconstitutional and invalid in a ruling hailed by LGBTQ rights groups. The judgment overturns rarely enforced laws dating back to 1927, which Namibia inherited from the colonial era, but maintained after gaining independence from South Africa in 1990. 11 opponents of Mali's ruling junta were arrested as they met in the capital after calling for the return of civilian rule in the West African nation, their coalition said. The military, which seized power in 2020, had promised to organize the elections and hand over power to civilians by the end of March this year, but later postponed the elections indefinitely. Those detained include the heads of parties and political movements which signed a declaration in March calling for the handover of power to civilians. Donald Trump has said he wants to grant green cards to foreign graduates from U.S. colleges in an apparent softening of his typically hardline view on immigration, a key election issue. The Republican candidate made the remarks in a podcast published days after President Joe Biden and announced a citizenship pathway for immigrants married to U.S. nationals, counterbalancing his recent crackdown on illegal border crossings. Trump says these include anybody who graduates from a college, including those who complete two-year programs known as junior colleges and doctoral graduates. At least 47 people have died as downpours in southern China's Guangdong province caused historic flooding and slides, state media reported. State broadcaster CCTV said that another 38 people were confirmed dead in Meizhou City, adding to 9 others previously reported dead in the same city. A man has died on the sidelines of mass demonstrations against proposed tax hikes in the Kenya capital, with the mounting protests a day earlier also leaving 200 people injured. A police watchdog said it was investigating allegations that the man was shot by police after demonstrations in Nairobi, the second this week. Let's turn to business now. President Bola Tinubu is expected to lead other federal government officials to next week's 3rd edition of the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association Summit with the theme Economic Renaissance, Harnessing Government Reforms and Private Sector Agility. This came as the association insisted for government to attract more investments, it must create pathways for consensus building for effective implementation of reforms. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association has urged the organized labor to prioritize job security in the ongoing negotiation for a new national minimum wage. The association advised the organized labor to agree with a figure that is realistic and sustainable, adding that in the last 3 years, hundreds of companies have exited the country, shut down or engaged or changed business models. The Debt Management Office, DMO, says Nigeria's total public debt has reached 121.67 trillion naira within 3 months. This figure represents an increase of 24.33 trillion naira or 24.99% from the 97.34 trillion naira as of December 2023. And still talking debt, Nigeria's total public debt has reached 121.67 trillion naira, increasing by 24.33 trillion naira, or 24.99% within 3 months. That's according to the DMO. This figure is from a total debt of 97.34 trillion naira as of December last year. Let's turn to other stories now. The federal government has declared that it is perfecting the process for the establishment of an electricity offences tribunal with an inbuilt appeal system to speedily tackle power-related offences. It also declared that a total of 2,655,488 meters in the power sector had been tested and calibrated, as most of the equipment had been deployed for use by consumers across the country. No fewer than 3 million poor and vulnerable households have benefited from the $800 million palliative loan disbursed by the World Bank to cushion the effects of recent government policies. Of these beneficiaries, 700,000 households were from rural areas and about 2.5 million households were from urban areas. The World Bank reviewed this in its restructuring paper on how to bolster its social safety net programs amidst rising inflation and economic challenges. Let's now join Kikeloma Okere for an update on business.
Hello and welcome to Business Report on Prime News. Nigerian Foreign Exchange Reserve has surged to the highest level since March 28, 2024, marking a significant financial milestone that coincides with the longest period of stable exchange rate seen in over a year. This is as the country recorded a string of financial commitment from the World Bank. According to the latest data published by Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, the reserves now stand at $33.58 billion as of June 19, 2024. This achievement represents a notable recovery since the end of March 2024, when it was as high as $33.83 billion before a period of decline set in. The rise in FX reserve comes after 3 months of noticeable fluctuation when it plunged to a low of $32.11 billion on April 19, 2024, sparking concern about the nation's financial stability. It could be recalled that in May, the Central Bank of Nigeria governor had to address the issue at the IMF spring meeting. However, since then, a gradual and consistent upward trajectory has been observed, coinciding with the period of exchange rate stability. The official exchange rate has averaged 1,481 naira and has depreciated or appreciated within a band of plus or minus of 0.06%. A review of the recently released company income tax report for the first quarter of 2024 reveals that income tax payments by the companies in manufacturing, agriculture, and 12 others declined by a minimum of 16%. A total company income tax payment by companies in 14 out of 21 sectors decreased during the first 3 months of the year, resulting in a 12.87% decline in CIT collection for the quarter. CIT collected by the federal government is levied on companies with a turnover of 25 million naira and above. The CIT rate is 20% for companies with a gross turnover between 25 million naira and 100 million naira, and 30% for companies with a gross turnover exceeding 100 million naira. The manufacturing sector experienced the largest decline in CIT payment to the federal government, plummeting by 70.24% from 145.06 billion naira in the fourth quarter of 2023 to 43.17 billion naira in the period under review. This was closely followed by the electricity, gas, and steam supply sector, which saw a 69.14% decline in CIT payments from 16.83 billion naira to 5.19 billion naira. The agricultural sector recorded a 59.31% decrease in CIT payments, while the arts and entertainment saw a 56.19% decline. Other sectors with reduced CIT payments include transportation service with minus 45.49%, wholesale and retail trade minus 39.66%, real estate service minus 40.64%, among others. The Debt Management Office of Nigeria has announced that the nation's total public debt has increased significantly to 121.67 trillion naira, approximately $91.46 billion as of March 31st, 2024. According to a statement from the DMO, the figure encompasses the combined domestic and external debt of the federal government of Nigeria and the 36 state governments and the Federal Capital Territory. as of December 31st, 2023, stood at 97.34 trillion naira, approximately $108.23 billion. This represents a substantial increase of 24.33 trillion naira, that is 24.99% within a 3-month period. This increase is driven majorly by naira devaluation, as the total debt was reduced in dollar terms by $16.77 billion, that is 18.34%. The breakdown of the total debt as of March 31st, 2024 shows that the domestic debt component was 65.65 trillion naira, approximately $46.29 billion, while the external debt component amounted to 56.02 trillion naira, approximately $42.12 billion. This means that the 53.96% of the total debt are owed to domestic creditors. The statement from DMO
Thank you, Kikaloma Okere, for that update on business. Time now to bring you an update on sports with Anthony Mamadou. We'll bring you that story in our subsequent bulletin. But to end Global TV News Prime, let's take a quick look at some of our stories. A World Health Organization has announced a global resurgence of cholera, as well as a spike in reported cases. Kano State government has ordered demolition of Aminu Ado Bayer's palace. On the foreign scene, Namibian court has overturned law criminalizing same-sex relationships. On business, Debt Management Office has revealed that Nigeria's public debt has hit excess of 120 trillion naira. In sports, we told you Wales Football Association has sacked Rob Page after Euro 2024 qualifying match. And that's it on News Prime, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on Star Times, channel 276. Remember to follow us across all our social media platforms using our Global TVNG and other handles as you now see on your screen. I'm Uyi Agumor Fuegbe saying a big thank you to you on behalf of the entire production team here at Global Television in Abuja.